this is odd. This is the first video I've made since publishing, and it's a completely different experience, because all those first 4 videos I made as if I was talking to a community, because I'd watched so many of them, but I wasn't. and I watched them. I'm watching the first one, and kind of being enraptured by the very strange sensation of understanding how I seem to other people. And I guess anybody that's made videos and posted them must have experienced that themselves. And I didn't know if it was just my ego, because I liked it, and yet I understood why I have some of the problems I do with people. I was shocked at how forceful I became across and how vivid, and I thought, God, I can see why I annoy some people. But I also thought that was very small of people to be annoyed by me, because there was something in what I had to say, but that wasn't enough for me. I had to reach out to one of the very well established YouTubers and ask that person for their opinion, somebody who refers to other people's videos a lot, and I look up to very much, and his work has helped me. And that person, who I try not to embarrass by mentioning, but a lot of you know who it is, was fantastic, and helped me to have the confidence to publish. And then the reaction from the community has been shocking and staggering, and if I had any idea that anything I had to say could reach people and make them feel less alone, as I appear to have done, I wouldn't have hesitated. And I'm staggered, actually, by the reaction. And you've made me feel, all of you that have taken the time to watch the videos and comment and like them, I've got to tell you, you've made me feel like my father is wrong and my family are wrong. That's how you've made me feel. That's how your appreciation of what I've had to say and the way I've said it, that's how worthwhile it is. So whatever I've done for you, if I've done anything for you, you've repaid it in full and with interest. And I didn't know, and it's going to change the way I do these. It's going to change the way I vlog. What a great term, because it gives me confidence. It subtly alters my idea of myself, and gives me a validation and a sense of purpose and a sense of usefulness I've never known before. So to all of you that have been so demonstrative and expressive in your appreciation of the 4 pieces I've already done, I want to reassure you, you were not wasting your breath. It was, and I think I've tried to reply to every single one. I've done my best. If I've missed any of you out, I apologise. Sometimes it's just a line. Sometimes sometimes a paragraph or 2. You know, I've got the time at the moment. It's been a pleasure, absolute pleasure, and I hope to continue to serve. It is my honour to have had a impact on your recovery. And let's never forget, all of us, that we're the important, that you're the important ones. I mean, now I'm vlogging, I feel now I am in a very, I'm in a position where I have responsibilities to you. And the payment for that is the appreciation that I get from you, which has done me an endless amount of good. I mean, it's, and I really got to, you know who it is. We've really got to acknowledge the YouTuber that fixed this up. He wasn't having any of my excuses why I shouldn't post, and what a terrific person that person is. So I've got some work to do today, and I apologise for those of you who had to sit through that and wanted me to get into my work, or our work, the work. What made me start recording today, what's been buzzing in my ear, because as a result, one of the best things about me publishing is I've suddenly been exposed to even more channels, because people have got a channel right, and they've sorry, still a bit poorly. They kind of tag me, and they mention me in one of their vlogs, and they let me know when I go and watch that, and then they're subscribed to people, and I just want to say hello to lots of new tubers who might have noticed I've turned up on the subscription list. It's great to see it. There's even more. It's just there's more and more. It's like we're like a pyramid. But I guess an upside down one, because there's lots of new people like myself. I'm quite new, and they've only got like 300, 400 views. But but the work they're giving is sharp, and I hope we all get. I hope more and more people find. And of course, the best thing is about this whole thing is you can find the recipe of tubers that suit you. So for some people, like Understanding Narcissism, who is just fantastic, is very clinical in his approach. I love that approach, because I'm not like that. I'm very emotional. I'm verbose. I mean, some people very kindly describe me as poetic, which is an enormous compliment, and I receive it gratefully and humbly, And Understanding Narcissism, what I admire about him is he's like, please don't be offended, he's kind of like Mr. Spock, He's kind of like, he is though, he's kind of like Spock, and I think we need a Spock, in the community. A Spock, that's great, and he's got it, he's nailed it down. His videos are kind of, they're together, there's a logical flow. And some people, but it's not for everyone. It works for me. I mean, I have a wide range. I've got a wide range of, and that's the recipe I like. I like a wide scatter. Some people are going to go for like a very specific thing. Like I've just discovered, finally free from narcissism, who got in touch with me, was very kind about my videos, and has name checked me a couple of times, which is kind of her, because it means people are going to check out my stuff because they like her stuff. And she's got like a whole approach that's like really non-pretentious, and like she's like somebody you'd know, like somebody, like she's like somebody you'd have a chat with, picking up the kids from school, and she's got lots to say, and she's inspired me to make this video today. So I'd like to say hello to Finally Free, because you were so kind to me, and so appreciative, and maybe we'll get some traffic. I'll send some traffic over to you, and you to me, and that'd be cool. But people can find the voices that make them feel like they're being heard, and that's the beauty of this community. You get to pick and mix your version, and also the different forms of abuse as well. Like the guys who have come out of painful narcissistic relationships with women, and the women have come out of painful narcissistic relationships with guys. You sort of find if you like, you find a testifier or two or three or seven. For me, I've got a power 7. I've got a definite power 7 who are like, They're kind of like my main 7, and then I've got all these new ones that are kind of like there. Kind of I'm soaking up, and it's great. And but that's the beauty of it all. And I am going on and not getting on with the work. So I really wanted to say thank you to everybody. Not just, obviously, I'm always saying thank you to the testifiers that have got me to where I've got to. But now I've got to say thank you to all of you who are watching me. And I just, that's all I can do right now is just thank you and acknowledge and I feel for every single one of you that's got anything out of what I've got to say, because the fact you're getting anything out of what I want to say that means that it must be so bad for you, you know. And I feel that like I have to contemplate on that. That's a lot of people who have had it a lot harder than they deserved. You know, because I don't think there's anything in this for anybody who hasn't been through that stuff. So today's work, and that was a long introduction, but I think it was worthwhile. Excuse me, I'm still quite poorly. Low immune system, remember. Today's thing is, and it might not be that long after all that, is going to be about narcissist abuser. In this instance, the parent. It's not that complicated. That's what I'm going to call this video. It's not that complicated. And here's what I mean. And like I say, I want to acknowledge finally free from narcissism, and I can't say her name properly, and Doa video. Both of those had an influence on me making this one. And also always Escape from Narcissism has an influence on my videos, always. I watch all of hers religiously, and basically those 3 ladies, what they've been talking about abuse from family. And I want to say this, it's not as complicated as you think. The biggest mistake I made consistently and over again was when the parent abuser got in contact and spoke to me or emailed me, and there'd usually be a phone call in the mix of that, there was always a habit on my part to assume that there was more to it than it looked, that it was more complex, when actually they were being incredibly base. I don't mean they were being rude and using coarse language. I mean, it's always what you think it is, what you think it looks like. Because what I used to do is, because I thought my father couldn't possibly be bothering me with this, you know, something really sort of ridiculous. Because I thought that, I made it more complicated. Like, I assumed that he couldn't be that small-minded. He couldn't be, surely under the circumstances, he wouldn't really waste my time with something as ridiculous as that, right? But it is. And what they do is they sit back and they let you make it more complicated. They let you elevate them. I know that's a difficult idea to get hold of because I probably won't explain it very well. Although for some of you, there'll be a little bit of a light bulb going on. You'll be going like, no way, he's not really saying that, is he? Or, I've always thought that. Okay, look, man, it's this, like... How do I do this without going into personal biography, which I try to avoid doing? I was doing a very, very important job for my family, and it cost me enormously, emotionally, mentally and physically. And so I found it very odd when I got emails or phone calls about petty things, like the heating bills, which I wasn't paying because I was doing all this hard work down here. And but they were reasonable, you know. They were not extortionately high. And when I got these complaints, I took them seriously. And I thought, well, he wouldn't just ring me up to make a fuss about that unless it was important, right? No, he would. He would, and he did. Do you know why? Because once I was in situ here, taking care of things here, right? I handled things and I handled them right. What the narcissist wanted is they wanted me to keep going back to them and complaining. I knew not to do that because of things that happened before. I knew not to do that because of the cleaner that was put in here who couldn't handle the situation. And every time I tried to contact my narcissist, I got such a reaction, you know. I was taking care of this person's responsibilities, but I got such a reaction on the lines of like, it's just you got to understand, son. It really is hard for me to deal with this. That's what I got. So I learned to leave him alone. I mean, and even those calls we're talking about, they were few and far between. But I knew who I was dealing with. It was made very clear to me. Keep your mouth shut, your head down, get on with it. Don't bother anybody, which is what I did. Guess what? That wasn't good enough either. And it was hard. So as time goes by and they become more comfortable with the situation, they start to like think, oh, I'm not getting any supply. You see, even you being a pain in the arse, don't forget the role the narcissist wants when it's a parental one. In an extreme case, in a covert case, one in which they deploy a lot of passive aggression, is that it's your job to be. I wrote this down. I was going to do a whole video called this, and I might yet do it. They live to be inconvenienced by you. Think about that. That's what they live for. Now, I didn't know that. I thought it was my job to kind of protect, to shield my narcissist abuser from the realities of the situation that I was taking care of. Yes, it was. And on top of that, they wanted supply. Yeah. I mean, some of you know, some of you that have watched all my videos have pieced together what I'm talking about here. Some of you won't know. I just don't want to keep going on about it because, you know what, when I go on about it, I'm going to go on about it once and properly. I'm going to do the whole thing in one proper go. Some of you have picked up the clues and stuff, and it is around. It's scattered throughout the other films, but videos. But I've got issues about identifying myself, which I know is ridiculous because I'm sure that, you know, you'd think, well, his family would identify him by his voice, and even when he does this cartoon Scanner Darkly thing with his face, they're going to better work it out. I'm playing a bit of a weird game with my narcissistic family where I don't expect them to ever find these videos, and if they do, I want to be able to plausibly deny it's me. Just given that away, haven't I? Still works though, because at the end of the day, that's in keeping with the kind of lies they've been telling themselves and they tell other people. It's just plausible deniability, you know. So that's why you see me do weird things. Like that's why I dress up. It's like my Batman costume. It's to draw attention away. Just something. Yeah. So the narcissist still wants supply, even when you're their servant. You that's why whenever you give a narcissist stuff, they want more. They're greedy, not greedy like a big, you know, like sort of fat pig kind of greedy. They're psychologically greedy for supply. They just, I didn't know that. I wish I'd known then what I know now. I'm sure we all do. But what I'm saying is, so when they come, when they argue, when they try to leverage you, don't think it's complicated. It's really simple. It's always simple. And there's a part of your brain thinking they couldn't, because you're an intelligent person. I think all my experience of all people that are narcissistic abuse victims, it all seems so eloquent and smart. I expect that completely, actually. Because you know what? I don't think a narcissist would necessarily abuse a stupid person. I could be wrong. But I'm not being elitist about stupidity and intelligence. I believe everybody is clever in one way or another. Some people are academic. Some people are emotionally intelligent. You know, all of that stuff. It's all kinds of different kinds. It's very. I don't want to live in a world where people are stupid. I've got dyslexia. I'm terrible. with numbers and learning things. Terrible. Terrible. But I'm not stupid. You know, there's all kinds of different kinds of clever. All kinds. You know? And, yeah. So when I say that I don't forget, I think narcissists like the idea of abusing somebody clever because they feel clever themselves, but narcissists aren't that clever. They're not clever. They might be intelligent, they might be academic, but they're not clever. By clever, I mean clever is being able to see things the way they are and deconstruct it in your mind. Clever is being able to recognise the truth in what somebody's saying when they're not saying it. Like somebody could be talking completely counterintuitively about how they really feel, and a clever person, an empathic and clever person will better follow the flow chart of their, but you know why? Because they're listening to their feelings as well as the words. When a narcissist type person, the sort of person who thinks they're clever, they'll go like, well, you contradicted yourself there, haven't you? If you look back at what you said that, you said this, but that an empathic clever person can't be bothered with any of that, right? They're too busy hearing the person, and that's so much more important, I think. I really believe that. So I'm a little bit off my game because I've been ever so poorly, and I will say one more thing about all that. Although it's been really nice reading your comments while I was ill, that was so like a warm log fire in my heart, and you guys, thank you. So I'm going to stop fawning over you and get on. But so going back to the point of today, it really is as stupid as it looks the first time you see it. It's and we make it more complex because we feel we have this weird duty to sort of legitimize the narcissist if it's a parent. Like we almost do all the work for them. Now when you start to move forward and get better, you're going to stop doing that. And when you stop doing it, they're going to really feel it. One of the ways you know is because they spend much more time being quiet and letting you speak when they're kind of like, you know, messing with you. They'll ring you up and the idea is to sting you, like, you know, and then you kind of panic a bit and you kind of go, oh yeah, I know what you mean. And they're always trying to like get you into a situation where you've got to explain yourself. That is absolutely a hallmark of the narcissistic parental abusive situation. And that was very tricky for my abuser when I was doing this enormous act of goodwill for my family. How it was really hard to kind of like, I'm gonna misuse the word. I like that word triangulation, and for me it has all kinds of meanings. So I'm going to misuse it a bit. I want to appropriate that term. They want to kind of triangulate you, by which I mean kind of like leverage you, paint you into a corner, into a situation where you've got to explain yourself. And I was already doing the right thing. So they're complaining about the utility bills. Now, believe me, there's nothing wrong with drawing attention to the utility bills if it's important, right? But the settings in this house, they were as this guy left them. I didn't mess with them. I was being really careful. I can imagine the fucker sitting at home going, I haven't heard from him in a long time. What excuse can I use? And then they get hold of you. They write to you, they email you. You have to. They say, can you please ring me? I'm worried about this. The word he used was, that house is hemorrhaging money. No, it wasn't. Ridiculous. No matter what my expenditure was on the utilities, right? And this was the first time we had a conversation about it. It wasn't like I was giving instructions like, look, whatever you do, you know, turn the thermometer down to this in the summer, or, you know, turn it off in the summer, this in the winter, this in the spring, nothing like that. No, it was a silly, childish, bullying trap, just a silly, silly trap. You know, beneath the behaviour of an adult, let alone a parent, you know. But that's what happened. And I thought at the time, well, he wouldn't waste my time with that, knowing there must be a good reason for it. He must know what he's talking about. So I set about, and I have done since, like, religiously keeping the utilities as small. So what that meant was, when I was looking after my mother, is that in the summer we had this large L-shaped room. What is the point of me pretending I'm not who I am? I'm just giving so much information away. This is why I'm not supposed to talk about my personal situation. In the summer, she'd be in one part of the room, but the radiator was in this tiny little corner. So in the winter, I'd move all the stuff over to and she'd live by the radiator, so we didn't have to keep putting the gas fire on, because that was one expense I could save. She was happy with that, and it worked, and I made it comfortable and everything. You know, this from a person who should have been over the moon that I was taking care of the situation. He should have been throwing money at the situation, because if my mum had gone into care, it would have cost them this house. You know, it would have been gone. Anyway, I'm digressing. So despite all of that, they still want their, you know, you know what they're like? They're like a rude waiter that expects a tip at the end of the night. You've put up with their rudeness all night. You've not complained to the manager. You've been polite to them all the way through. You know, you could have asked for a different waiter, and at the end of the night, of course you're not going to tip them. They've been a prick, but they want to have been rude to you all the way through, served you badly, brought your food out late, and knowing that you won't give, you know, the expectation of the tip is part of the game. It's like they go, I'm going to treat these people so badly, right? And make them give me a tip. Then they will give me a tip. That's the attitude. And you think, who thinks like that? Your fucking family. That's all it is. It's not more complicated. It's not. I've found, when I keep doing this to you guys, I'm gonna have to fix it. When I tell you my story, he says, when I tell you my story, I know this because what I went through was so bad, and I did so much, and I was treated so abhorrently and selfishly, and I didn't see it. I made so many excuses over and over, forever and ever. And when my mother died and it was time for them to do something for me, they wanted a tip. Yeah? I know it's hard to believe. Well, for some of you, for a lot of you actually it won't be, but that's my shtick, you know. Anyway, God, you know what's really weird? Now I've made 4 videos that were kind of like bam, bam, bam. I'm not confident I can ever be that good again, because I made them in a completely different frame of mind. So that's this for today, and bear with me because my health has been poor, and I'm reeling still. I'm just reeling from the reaction from you guys. It's just so moving, and I feel blessed, you know, to have been some use. It's just incredible. So there might be a drop in quality. So will you forgive me and bear with me, and this is kind of an experiment, see if I can get back into it. Right, I'm going to post this up. I'm really looking forward to the reaction of people seeing that I'm back in the game, and I might make another one later today or soon. I hope that was some good. Look, hey, thanks for being amazing and kind, and we're together, all of us. We're a little army. You know, I've got loads of stuff to talk to you about. I'm just not well enough to do it proper. I'm not well enough to do it well. So I wanted to put one of these out, just like put a flare up and let you know I'm okay, and there's going to be more. And great love to all of you, and talk to each other, support each other. Those of you that are, if any of you are thinking about making videos, you know, maybe I can look at them and reassure you that you're on the right track, you know, like it was done for me. But that I'm probably asking for trouble there, like get 1,000 video requests. What I did was I made my videos unlisted, and I sent a private message to the tuber who helped me, and said, just have a look at these when you're ready, if you get time, and you know, there might be another tuber you could try that with. But we must remember that it was very cheeky of me to do that, because it took up a lot of that person's time, but they were happy to do it. But it's only fair that I repay my debt to the community, so that's an option. It might take me a bit of time to get back to you, but I will try. Alright, well, it's kind of been a great big thank you plus a little bit. Maybe I'll come back to this subject and do some more on it next time. Thank you very much for watching, and one more thing. Something is going on, you know. I've watched now, oh God, so many different people make every videos, and I can tell by reading the comments. We're like, we should celebrate that we've suffered so much, but look at us. We're articulate, we're kind, we've survived. Think about that. We're not weak. Don't you think we're powerful? Aren't we something? And now we know each other, you know? I want to put that out there. Think about it. Think of the good we can do for each other and other people that we meet who need someone that they can take the risk of reaching out to. You know, Narcissist Survivors posted a beautiful video. I love that guy. I think he was the second tuber I got into. I love him. He's beautiful, gentle, sweet man. What a strong guy. What a survivor. He's that wonderful mixture of strength and intellect and compassion. You know, what a guy, you know? And what he's been through, it's just abhorrent. And yet look at him. Like, on the watchtower for sufferers of narcissistic abuse. That's who he is. You know, what a guy. And he's just done a video about I've lost my train of thought, blowing smoke up his ass. Give me a second here. What was his video about? Quickly. I'm gonna have to pause the video. Damn, hang on. I said, if ever you lose your train of thought, just do something else, like start to make a cup of tea, which is what I just did, and straight away it's back. He said he did a very good piece of work talking about the anxiety and the fear of going out and meeting people. 95:1 is the ratio of narcissists to real people. 95:1 narcissists. So most of the people you meet aren't sick. They're not horrible, abusive people. He then conservatively runs that down to 50 and says, like, worst case scenario, 50:1. So what are the odds? I mean, you will meet them because you can attract them. But he says, it's like, take the risk of smiling at people in the shop. Take the risk of smiling at someone in the street. He's right. He's so right. And it is tricky. It feels very frightening. And sometimes maybe they don't smile back. And once you take that on board, that you're giving something, and you don't need reciprocation to feel good about yourself. And you know what? So even, you know, people do respond. I found they do, and it makes you feel good. And like he said, be kind to someone. Or do a favor. Watch the video. I'm going to put a link to it. Always glad to see a new video by Narcissist Survivor. He's a wonderful man, and if you're not following him, and I can't imagine you're not, but if you're not, you've got no business watching this if you're not watching his before mine. He's a lovely guy. So yeah, I was saying, look at us, you know, and think of the good we could do, you know. Think of, now we know we're not useless. Now we know we're not sick. Well, we are sick, we're damaged, but we're not the sickness. We're not infected. We're not the ones that make other people sick. We're not the cause. We didn't do this. We didn't start this. You know, we can switch that thing about being victims, because think of what we know. Think of the knowledge. Think of the reservoir of experience you've got about human frailty and hurt, and the how you could bless someone in terrible suffering, or even minor suffering, with your patience. Think how powerful you could be when you get past feeling the way these monsters have tried to make you feel, and have failed, because it's not going on anymore. We're not playing anymore. It's going to take a while to repair, but it stops now. We're stopping it now. We're going to stop it now. And then we become something else. I'm becoming something else because of you guys. I think I can stop, and we'll see each other again. Love you. Think on. Write to me. Let's sort this out. Love you guys.